When we're talking about our explorer, we want to first determine which is the correct end to use and which area in the mouth we're going to be using it in. For the anterior teeth, we want to use this instrument as a half-half instrument, and for the posterior teeth, it's going to be used as a 1/3, 2/3 instrument. So let's start talking about the anterior teeth. In order to use it on the anterior teeth, we're going to break the tooth in half. So that this is going to be the surface toward you, this would be the surface toward you, and likewise. In order to do the surfaces towards you, you would want to sit at 8 o'clock, and as the right-handed clinician, determine the correct working end. So I want this instrument to wrap against that side of the tooth that we're going to explore. When I place the instrument like this, I can see that it is going to wrap around the side of the tooth. When I choose the other end, it's not going to wrap so much around the side of the tooth. So what I mean by that is I place it, I establish a fulcrum, I place the point on the tooth, and it's almost going to be hugging the tooth if I come in approximately. This would be the correct end to explore the surfaces toward you. When I place the other end on here, it's not going to be hugging the tooth. So this is not going to be the correct end, although I could make this adapt as long as I kept the side tip on the tooth. So once I have established the correct end, which is this one, and that little elbow is pointed toward my fulcrum finger, I'm going to place the side tip in the center of the tooth and begin exploring the tooth. And as long as I'm keeping that side tip on the tooth, I'm not going to grab tissue as I go in approximately. Let's go to the next tooth over and do the same thing. This is the right end. My elbow is pointed towards my fulcrum. A nice exploratory stroke. You'll notice how I'm rocking on my fulcrum as I come in approximately. Let's go to this tooth and do the same thing. Rocking on my fulcrum. My fingers aren't doing the motion. I am rolling the instrument to go in approximately. So what's that going to look like if I'm doing this? Here, let's see if I can make this work. I'm going to establish my correct working end, which is going to be this one. My elbow is pointing towards my fulcrum for the anterior teeth. Stand up on my fulcrum in the middle of the tooth and do a small exploratory stroke, and you'll notice that I'm rocking back and forth. What's it going to look like on these maxillary teeth? Let's see if we can get this to work. This is going to be the correct end because it's going to wrap and hug nicely. Start in the middle of the tooth. Keep that 1 millimeter of the side tip adapted, and I'll be able to explore the tooth nicely. And we're looking at the posterior teeth. Let's see if I can make this work. We're going to break the tooth into, instead of half-half, into 1/3, 2/3. And the way to determine the correct working end is that we want to have the elbow facing the back of the mouth. So if I plant my fulcrum, put the tip on the side of the tooth, my little bend in the elbow at the lower portion of the terminal shank is pointing towards the back of the mouth, or you could call it an arrow. So I start at the distal buccal line angle just like I do for probing, and I'm going to slowly explore the tooth. And then I would begin at the distal buccal line angle and come mesially.